Hello, Milton Guy here, coming at you with a new name. It's not all about politics. You might think it would be with all that's going on, but it's not all about politics anymore. It goes so much deeper, and it affects this country in so many other different ways. But it indeed has left the realm of politics, and we're dealing with some very nasty, very, very crucial issues. I might even say that if I were you, you might want to go and vote for Donald Trump. That's what I recommend you do. You go to the polls, you pull that lever, you write in that name, and vote for Donald Trump. I say it again. Yes, indeed. Write those names in where they belong so you can cast your vote for Donald Trump, or you pull that lever, or whatever you do in your voting precinct. You do that just to vote for Donald Trump, because you need to if you want this. If you want criminals from whatever country you live to Congress, to the Senate, and to the presidency, criminals from whatever county, I meant to say, from your county to your state capital, to Congress, the Senate, and right to the presidency. If you want to see that, I insist, I urge you, vote for Donald Trump. Pull that lever. Write in that name. If you want to see more people spread across our television screens and in the news like Marjorie Taylor Greene, then you go out and you write in that name, Donald Trump, or you pull that lever, or whatever you have to do. If you want to see somebody so in a cult-like state, like Mike Johnson, supposedly the Speaker of the House, kneeling at the feet of Donald Trump like some whiny little baby. If you want to see that, then you go to the polls and you write in Donald Trump's name, or you pull that lever to vote for that man. If you want to see surgery, intricate surgery, performed on our Social Security system, a system which in many cases feeds elderly people who would otherwise not eat, otherwise not have some medical care. If you want to see that surgery performed on Social Security, then you go and you write in that name, Donald Trump, and all these other little senators and representatives in the Maga cult. You write in their names if that's what you want to see. If you want to see any progress on education halted in its tracks, if you want to see foreign dictators trying to decide what to do with us, the United States, if you want to see more of our allies begin to not trust us any longer, then you go to your poll and you write in Donald Trump's name, or you pull that lever. If you want to see more of a president begging for the respect of Vladimir Putin, or to hear what a great man and leader Kim Jong-un of North Korea is, and other absolute cruel dictators in the world, good men I respect, men I want to respect me, you go to the polls and you vote for Donald Trump. If you want to see a total ban on abortion for whatever reason, If you want to see that, you vote for Donald Trump. You go to those polls and write in that name. If you want to hear more and more racist remarks brought back by a free-mouthed, narcissistic, cruel, uncaring president, then you vote for that president, former President Donald Trump, and you put him back in that White House. If you want to see that. If you want to see social graces and how our children should conduct what they say and how to interact with others, yes, these very basics. If you want to see that taught by a cult like Maga, then you vote for Donald Trump and the Maga senatorial candidates and representatives. You vote for them. If that's what you want, you go to the polls. If you want to see a family in the White House running every kind of business except the business of the country, then I urge you, go to the polls and you vote for Donald Trump. I hope maybe we all get the point. If you want this and vote for Donald Trump, then you are either deaf or blind, oblivious for the last 8 years, or seriously apathetic, or maybe simply a damn fool. If this is what you want, and you vote for Donald Trump. And before you get hell bent on yelling about what I just said, we all have opinions, is what I hear. Well, let me yell first. This is not an opinion. As Tennessee Brando on a podcast often says, we have the receipts. And I say the same thing. We do have the receipts. We have tape. We have film. We have audio. We have tweets and all kinds of emails that prove we are trying what we're trying to say. Even the ungodly lies this man bespeaks every time he opens his mouth, and the MAGA crowd with him. Even those ungodly lies, all of them, there for the seeing, always has been, there for the hearing, but it's up to us. And remember, when you, and again, you know, if you are the you I'm speaking to here, when you voted for Nixon, no one thought you were a fool. When you voted for Gerald Ford, no one thought you were a fool, or George Bush, or George W. Bush, or John McCain, or Mitt Romney. Nobody thought you were a fool. But what I'm trying to say here is, it's more than just politics. Things are different now. Things have changed or have evolved because of Trump and MAGA, to the extent that I, or we, actually many of us feel forced to proclaim the following. Health care issues should never play second fiddle to a whiny, narcissistic criminal. Women's reproductive rights should never be swept under the desk of a rapist and a champion womanizer. The border issue should never be wrangled and manipulated by a man who can't open his mouth without lying. Problematic urban issues should never be left in the hands of the most racist politicians since Strom Thurmond, George C. Wallace, and Jesse Helms, and led by the most racist party champion in history. Education progression cannot be in the hands of a maniacal individual who obviously thinks education is a non-issue in this country. I'm not just spouting out things like Tennessee Brando. Again, I will say, we are not speculating. We have the receipts. And you can have them too. Please listen to me when I say, probably the most important minute or two in our lifetime will be those couple of minutes you and I spend in the voting booth on November the 5th in 2024. And that's what I came here to say today in this podcast. That's what I came to explain about it. It has left the realm just simply politics. A change took place. It's like a fog fell upon us and changed us, and men that I used to admire saying things that I never thought I'd hear coming out of their mouths. Insurrections and things are a mess because of Donald Trump and his Maga cultists like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I could go on, and you know who I'm talking about. I could go on and on and on. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I hate to even mention Lindsey Graham because you don't know what he's going to be saying tomorrow. And whatever he says tomorrow, it'll be different the next day. But I want you to understand my meaning about why I changed the heading on my podcast. It's not all about politics. We have to come to grips with what's in here and try to remember how it was. It didn't matter if it was a Republican or a Democrat. We had some respect for one another. We do not now. And it's because of Donald Trump. And again, I will remind you, the most important 1 or 2 minutes you'll spend in your lifetime would be those minutes you spend in the voting booth on November the 5th this year, 2024. By the way, remember my prayer list. You know the list of those I pray make it to heaven, because if they make it, we all do. Well, I keep that list going. Well, today I add the name of Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina with this note. She says she is not a racist, kind of in the same way President Richard Nixon said, "I am not a crook." On the list you go, Nancy Grace. And I'm asking you, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my podcast. Whether you agree with me or not, I have the right to say it. And I can back up anything I say. And that's unlike Donald Trump and the Maga Association. Also, listen to Tennessee Brando and Texas Paul and R.A. Milber, Rachel Maddow, the Midas Touch Network. Subscribe to their respective podcasts, and again, listen to Fox News and compare and verify. Again, I'd like to, if I could find my books here. I'm a little bit unorganized today. My wife's book, Leaving Small Town. I wish you'd go on Amazon and buy this. I know you'll enjoy it. It's everybody that's read it, that's responded, has said, made remarkable statements how good it is. And like I said before, they keep asking, when are you going to do a sequel? Also, my book, The Offspring of Ignorance. It's on Amazon also. I ask you to go to Amazon and buy my book, The Offspring of Ignorance. Well, I made my book plugs, and I hope I made my point about the most 1 or 2 minutes in your life this year, or in your lifetime, because I believe that. So until the next big roundup, I'm going to leave you with that and say, God bless you, and I love you all. I'll see you next time.